Welcome to episode 2 of Beyond Zero's podcast. Coming up,
You're also from Unmute, a very important program, a very important campaign, but then we'll get into those details. 2 years later, so okay.
So ba batla etsa make sure hore motho o sure ka ntho a batlang go e dira or o ya because of abone mamang I dira.
Ho tsala mo.
Nkare ka bokutswanyane ke mokgatlo ile gore like ba thusa batho ba bontate. In short, I'm a bisexual man. And I'm a father to someone, and that doesn't make me a less of a man.
Through the process.
No, that change ke. Sometimes like ya Dr. Omo, sometimes ke ya ho Omo.
Okay.
Wo tla tswa fela gona faila ka that day ke Dr. Efi.
Yeah.
But ona le Dr. Engwe mo ntho university shame yana o khona go thusa hantle.
Pero bata prep ka re o katse kapa okay ya kwa.
What was that sign?
What
tell us strata?
You should tsena o jere ka wheelchair, then they will take you serious.
Yeah. And in the Congo, it's even a safety measure. Because, I mean, God forbid, it's okay, or rape you. Understand? So anything can happen.
today we will be unpacking human rights with Aaron Moloisi.
Another exciting conversation, another empowering conversation from Beyond Zero. Thank you so much to the team for making this happen. Beyond Silence campaign, we're all about discussing important issues that affect you and I on a daily basis. Because information is always empowering, particularly when you're talking about human rights and their violations. Sometimes your rights are violated and you don't know because you don't know your rights. Sometimes somebody violates your right because so we have to have these discussions all the time, because at the end of the day, and we must coexist. There's one issue which has been happening for years. Some people push it under the carpet, some people talk about it. Violation, gender-based violence, because of stigma, because of other reasons. I'm going to make an example. And this by no means I'm taking this light. Imagine a go tlapung or go vibing somewhere wherever so le chamana o spende gam. Ne? Later on, how rtla call center is wrong. There's violence there. Sometimes you thought this person is aware of who you are. Maybe you're a transgender woman, maybe you're a transgender man, maybe you're just part of the LGBT choir, But because they never ask you how you identify, they assume, and you also assume, that doesn't end well. Most of the time, it ends in tears. But then what do we do when our rights are violated? Remember, you can be part of this conversation as well. Track us on social media, #Beyond Silence, and you can also give us a call. It's an anonymous number that you can call and feel safe. Whatever it is you want to report or whatever else that you want to ask, 08600 38, 08600 38, and you can slide into our DMs, go Facebook, go X, as well as Instagram, Beyond Zero SA. I've got my lovely guests. Blom. Limonade. When I was Blom, almost. Blom. What was the answer? What's so to Pastor? Blom as was mixed. Oh, can you get back? Mexican. All right. So, Kinali Hopolang here. We also from Unmute, a very important program, a very important campaign. But then we'll get into those details. Karabo. Oshab.
Right.
All right. I'm going to go top right. Beneficiary Unmute as well as Tabo Beneficiary Army Fest. Ne?
Thank you.
Before we go into the different objectives of the programs, let's just talk generally. Or do you think people know what their rights are before they can even know or those rights are violated? Yeah.
I believe that people don't know their rights, especially when we talk about the rights that we're saying. Those are your birth rights. I think most people don't understand and know their rights, and when not to access them.
Yeah.
I think as Tubaba LGBTQI, some of the rights that we know, we allow people to take them away from us. So
Yeah.
it can be a number of issues that says that you don't know your rights, or you know your rights but you are not aware.
Maybe let's use this opportunity to educate people about the rights.
Okay.
Let's make an example, like examples of what those rights are. Because sometimes you've got the rights. Yeah, I can all the rights, but how do you say? Oh, what are some of those rights?
The right to access to healthcare is one of the basic rights. Later on, I remember the colleagues were talking about the pink and blue file.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the fact that when you access this service, you need to make sure that the right to accessing these rights in a certain standard of quality also means it's the right. Because sometimes you get to a facility and you feel now that you have accessed the right, you can't accept any other this service just because now you have accessed the right and you feel now that I've accessed the right, I've accessed my right to access. But now, is the service of good quality? Are they accessible? Are they acceptable quality of service? So that right is also extended. It's not just access.
Because you chose access, you feel like it's a favor. You must still feel like this is my right.
And that compromises on the quality of service that you get.
Karabo, first of all, I can mute.
Can meet one of my friends, whereby Ambrose Mosweu. Yeah, on a other organization.
Okay.
And then I want to do a transition, but I don't know where to start.
Okay.
So, and then we accompany other lady from Tulwana Emolemo.
Yeah. Just to clarify quickly, anybody who doesn't understand what transition is, and that's about Palama translate. We're about to transition from. No, but like maybe it's a loose one. I guess I assume Alin. No, what is the transition? Which one?
I wanted to start my HR3 treatment.
Yeah.
So,
which means you want to move from being born male into female.
Yes.
Which means you're transgender woman.
Yes.
Sounds about safe. They must know.
So, and then I accompanied that lady. That lady, I near abatla honna, and then I did talk to that lady, and then I tell her what I want, and then that lady, she helped me so much.
So about handle, because I get it when you were asking from your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this lady I'm recommending,
yeah, on everything.
Okay.
And then I'm pale referral.
Okay.
I'm pale referral, and then endocrine.
Oh, okay.
And then from endocrine, I transfer to psychologist.
Okay.
For Orange Hospital.
Okay. Yeah.
And then from there, universitas. Because doctor never report.
Report to psychologist.
Yes, psychologist. Whatever this decision that I'm taking, for the rest of my life.
So now we'll make a sure.
Yeah.
Has a stage.
Yeah. I get look stage.
I can look at it. 2 years later. So okay.
So Baba make sure motho o shoka ntho a batlang go dira or o ya because of abone mamang I dira. Hence ba o fa ba re o ye psychologist pele ba lo check.
So they have a conversation with you. Hase ba le shosho hore o shosho ntho ba tlonyetsa. O nka lengwalo le o gutlela
go doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, and then mo doctor he batla qala he ba o fa treatment he.
Ya di hormone. Okay.
Yeah. And then le now ntse ke ya mo o ke thola treatment ya ka mo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So but into the sama hashapo.
It's some sharp sometimes ish na no kopana le doctor tsile.
Tsara bona mo ke batla bona ba seleng ba because di bua ka human rights violations ke tlo go tela wena. Me first. Ho etsahala mo?
Nkare ka bokhutshwanyane ke mokgatlo e le gore like ba thusa batho ba bontate. In short, I'm a bisexual man, and I'm a father to someone, and that doesn't make me less of a man.
Okay.
So more you're
a bisexual male, you're a father to someone,
somebody else, yeah.
and it doesn't make you less of a man.
Yeah, so a lot of ones but a bisexual man. They can undress you by shape of a link upon
Serious?
only some kind of guys by Loba. What's so wrong? What's so on Kawena? So the facility.
So when bisexually, it's a physical thing.
No, they fail to understand what it's a feeling.
Banana
I seem to
be
be
a man.
Yeah, I seem to be headline you told Utalangayon.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Others they think maybe it's transactional. You are doing it for Kappa for the sake of you want 1, 2, 3 Gaba.
There's a lot of misconceptions around bisexuality, even within the LGBTQ community. Bisexuality is selfish.
No, they don't understand.
One day one day but I understand. So you went through that, and how do you explain?
And with a friend.
With a friend. Okay.
It started from a long time ago. This thing it was a taboo thing. From primary churches, our working area.
Yeah.
So it's even worse, even if we are going to facility in a country, such as police station, you become a joke. How is that possible? One police officer, you become something else.
So you've been in those situations.
End up losing a friend.
Sure.
You didn't know where to go.
Or you end up losing the person you thought was your friend, because a real friend would never turn against you for who you are.
No, I'm saying like that person was a friend of mine. I share the same feelings like in that. He was a bisexual man.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at home.
Oh.
Even at work. So how we look but when a female background big but so it was even worse because of it was kind of like an embarrassment to the parents so you want to go and report such matter, it's even worse, you become a joke. So we end up hearing about a me first thing.
Yeah.
That's why more really too short because of at least psychosocial support, lady healthcare services, healthcare services.
Yeah. Because obviously
they deal more with a mental health thing. But
yeah. So psychologically, mental health, how they make sure you safe go on. And it's so deep because when you don't know yourself, you would not know what services you need. And how you would not know which services to access. So go on mute as part of your research. What are the biggest challenges? Say access to healthcare services or psychological services is a problem. What are the main barriers?
Okay, I think let me start by saying that Unmute Me is meant to address those barriers through what we call three-legged phases, which will be the interventions that will be by medical, structural, and behavioral. So one of the things they bonang as challenges after we have sensitized, that will be now through breaking the structural barrier. After we even sensitize the clinics or the facilities or other stakeholders that are directly linked, they Unmute Me, you would find misinterest in your staff. You find that the staff is sensitized, the nurses know what to do and how to handle MSMs, bisexual men or adolescent young people, but they miss the disinterest. Your staff will be one of the challenges that I can highlight.
Which is it's a personal thing.
Yeah, it becomes a personal thing.
Yeah. Because Dino was saying something like sometimes you can desensitize the staff, but then if we're only new members, it's like back to square one.
Yes.
Because you're dealing with individuals.
Yeah.
Are we going to Dr. Basile? Because you know to process it, but who live with Dr. Basile? Who is that thing?
Yeah, only Dr. Basile. And then other time Kilimo, and then Dr. Kairomona. Why overtla who etsa ntho o sa hlanka ka yona. Okay, so no ka bona o batla ho etsa this process. Then after a year, how to batla ho change? Why o sa tlwelle?
This is coming from a doctor.
From a doctor.
Qualified doctor.
Qualified doctor. Why o sa tlwelle once? Ka mmolela ka re doctor nka tlotlo kanka nako ya ka ka seng because ha ka tla mo fela. Whereby ke le pleke tse ngata whereby I use my transport. Okay, ke fihle mo. So do you think that I will waste my money on a thing that I know that ke ha ka space taba ke tlotloela?
Abareng.
Aba okay ke tletsa ntho o batlang o etsa but ke ne fela ke ku hlisa fela leseding. Ka re no is when I as if I'm not sure ka ntho ke batlang o etsa.
And if like judgment, is it or abutsa handle hore are you sure kan to etsang? How is it going to make you feel? How is it going to change your life? Ki judgment, are you sure after Slim you're not going to change your mind? You can't feel safe in the hands of such a person.
Yeah.
Was this a doctor who's helping you through the process?
No, that change again.
Hey.
Sometimes like ke ya Dr. Omo, sometimes ke ya ho Omo.
Okay.
Ho tla tswa fela gona faila ka that day ke Dr. F.
Yeah.
But ona le Dr. Engwe mo ntho university shame yana o khona go thusa hantle.
You understand?
You understand everything. Kore whatever lena aba a botsa now there is something o batlang go ibua lena.
Okay.
Before o tsama ha se a feditse ka ntwa o tlhatlhoba ge. And then o tla o bua if o batla o mbotsa something o tla mo botsa if o sena ntho mo botsa yona is still fine. But yena o thusa sharp. Motho kiu.
Motho kiu. So o offer safe. Do you think hore if ever no knowledge choice no tla kgetha all the time how because this is one person who is saying hore uska nahana twice because a lot of times you hesitate to access healthcare, you know. How it's even now go to a more. So this person, do you feel or respect her? Or worrying about anything? Or feel safe?
O feel safe. Eh, you feel unrespected because of ka khona ba o peno for yena. One sometimes you want into eki tlabe ke ipletsa gore today ke batla botsa ntho itseng. And then ha ke fitla mo ke yena ankileng file ya ka. So ntho ne ke batla ibotsa. Ha ke tlo gona ibotsa because of ke ne ke sa batla botsa yena. Ke ne ke batla botsa one because ona ke tla ke mo botsa ntho a bua something happy exactly right. Whereby I'm short tempered. So a ke rate hore ke tsamaye mo o go so le mferefere.
Go fast man.
Eh.
Okay. No, but at least why it's even.
Ha ke khone go khotlela.
Especially tabeng tsa hao. I mean mang kapa mang if anybody wa interfere in tsa hao why? Why tlamela botse? Let's mona tlotsa thule o batla o etsa ne. Tabo what are the barriers to access service like kaska uli bisexual man?
Kuri ya gidira motlhala ka the simple one.
Yeah.
I'm someone who tsaya prep. So ntwiga go bolelang ka yone batho ba latang go di public facilities it becomes a problem. A o tla go batla prep ke o batla go robala loss reckless emela kwa batho ba tlile ka mabaka serious.
Ha.
So people don't understand because sometimes a seta ba go robala recklessly di condom da thubega di a basta.
Yes.
Or sometimes like o thola gore o ile somewhere o tla o tagilwe like ha se ka o wetsentse mo ile expiry la sona o tsama ka yone for the past 4 months.
Exactly.
So for your safer side kore ya kitse the facility they tend to become something else nowadays. Kore ba ta prep kare o katse kapa okay ya kwa
What was a sign? What to tell us strat?
o jere ka wheelchair then they will take you serious.
Yeah. And in the Congo it's even a safety measure because I mean God forbid I understand. So anything can happen really and also besides it's your preference. Do you think because most bisexual men they present as heterosexual or straight. You know, they are more masculine, they are more butch. Do you think you get treated differently from somebody who walks in and say, I'm a gay man? Or somebody who walks in and say, I'm a trans woman or I'm a trans man?
No, you're not really about to radifara, Gary. It's a matter of a personal choice. How do you want people to see you or to label you?
Yeah.
So for nicely, I'm this man. For what ones by to you. But there are those by Lord Banchaka company keepang. And people always what the gates.
Yeah.
More especially about Mponakapa. Why always want to do about so? Because if I don't show up, I don't act up.
Yeah.
If you love it, it's all about accepting who am I. It's I should act up. There's nothing wrong or act differently. I mean, like sexuality is fluid. That's how he or she feels.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm straight acting, I mean, it doesn't change any taste of a cheese or
Because I'm straight act like we act like.
Yeah.
Why you act? Because just be yourself. Yeah. So do you think, are we anywhere close though to changing mentality? Healthcare practitioners, healthcare service providers?
Whatever I can show, but if maybe the Beyond Silence movement with the 3 campaigns, the MSM and gay men, the Me First, transgender and gender non-conforming, which will be Unmute Me, and the adolescent young people, which will be Say It. The issues that they cut across. SMS Tabo Eli MSM and bisexual men, and Karabo Eli a transgender woman and transgender man. The challenges that and I will speak on behalf of the adolescent young people. When it comes to facility, they are one. That is why I will always say that this interest the healthcare facility, healthcare staff.
Yeah.
And I think as Unmute Me, because the component in the structurally human rights and documentation. Now it becomes an advocacy issue, because I get advocacy is led by what is this? It's led by evidence.
True.
So if and come together, like what Tato said earlier on, let's come together and start documenting these cases. We're suffering silence, and I think as the trans people and Unmute Me, now we are starting to unmute. So how we start to document all these cases, as really bonds as human rights violations. Maybe it's a start to go for advocacy issues, which will directly assist this doctor, because the doctor is there to assist us, but the like the quality of service, the quality that he's offering as a doctor is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So we will get there eventually. The campaigns are not that old. I think we are 3.5 years now into the campaigns, but we're already seeing changes. I was looking at this form laboratory the other day. Instead of male and female, they put male, female, and TG. So for me, I'm saying that advocacy is starting to work. So we actually seeing progress.
Progress, almost. Because it's only male and female.
Yeah.
At least I said, so only TG there.
Yes.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah. That's impressive. And also, as you say, human rights cuts across.
Yes.
Cuts across race, gender, age, all of them. Yeah? Do you think society at large, because we always blame it on society, Sham, society has got a role to play in terms of understanding what's happening? Maybe that might help get violations.
Yes. Society in a Leon, and I think it back to what I said about the Unmute Me and the 3 layers.
Yeah.
That is why in our behavioral part we engage because we cannot work in silos as Unmute Me.
True.
That is why we'll have stakeholders and have these community dialogues. And through the help of social workers, we'll have a family interventions program. Well, we start with the family and sensitize the family. Then we have stakeholders as well. We'll have Unmute Me, Say It, and we first having these community dialogues where we sensitize community in general. So the community the impact to the treatment that we get because we're living in the same community.
True.
And even the structures, the facilities are inside the community. So that is why we will wholly focus on behavior change by sensitizing the community.
Karabo, sometimes like just go work out Dr. Ore or Silengo. Has there ever been incidences where you felt violated?
Yeah.
Like about choir or like, how do you deal with that?
Like I remember school when I was doing grade 8.
Standard 6.
Standard 6 what for? And then there was a time it was after break and then staff room and then give it at the toilet. There were guys there in the toilet but they were batsu. Na go ke fetang e one ka a ngula ka toilet. Ba ba batlo bona hore na ke na le eng entlik.
So go grade 8 ne se se bontsha.
Ana sala ke le body entle.
Yes. So ba hulile ka ra toilet o batlo bona re ona le eng?
Ba batlo nhlubudisa. And then likely ka ke hlake ka khona scream and then someone a utlwa and then ka bitsa teacher. And then those guys ba ile balele ko sekolong.
The whole group.
Group yo go fela ka ileleko. Principal bile a mpotsa gore na a etseng. Ke lo bula case or ke abatibele ka no baleleke. And then la ne ke tsa grade 12 ka kopana le problem happy whereby we were camping
before the camping mo I know the principal o feel a choice gore ba tlo bula case ka ba batla abatibele. Why did you choose gore ba kubiwe sekolong?
It's because of ke ne ke sa hlotse ke feel safe ha ba le ka ga jarata school. So hence ke le ka re ba tsamai once so that ke tsebe o kena school mnati.
And as long as how about the school as well? After school is after school. Ta kopana le bona ra strate.
Achi na.
Ke utlile. Ha no ke utlile hantle.
Na I used to say matswaka sa sidira tsaka. So matswaka na a sidira tsaka.
Yeah. Grade 12?
Grade 12 ka camp. So when we were camping ka ke bla principal hore a ke tlo gona ya camping e le gore o re ho tloya dikolo tse tharo we be ha dikolo tse tharo ba sekolo tseo tse pedi ha ba ntsebi ne so ba sekolo sa ka bone ya batla principal ona dumela ha o kimpo sekolong ke ne ke go bala le banana because ke ne ke nna gore nke se tlo go bala le shimaneng isimo company ka tloela. And then it's a we camping tse mo ka Friday we were camping he ka ke salan ka bla principal ka ha ke tlo gona tsama ke tlo sala
o no ba tseba ba se ba dikolo tsentse ithutseo
a ke ba tsebe
why no so excited why no choose hore ke batlo ya mo because ke ba tsebe motho mongwe le batlo go rata lo feta
no ka ke sa ka Friday Sunday ka Saturday principal a be am phone la re o tlo ba le meeting le ma teacher among our at dikolo tse
other two schools
okay and then a ba le meeting le bona a ba le meeting le banyana ge so ba re ha bana problem ka Sunday ka ke phone la hore ke tlola tu and then ka ya camping
so when I join a camp ka Sunday
so and
VIP
then ka kopana le problem hape ke fitla mosebetsing
this is long after grade 12 so ka lo sebetsa he
and then boss ya ka ene na ne ntwana gore ha ke feta every time o tla ba nshebile a ke rata motho a shebana le go telele o di bana hanisa o tla ba nshebile and then a bo
shebile jwa
ha ke feta o tla ba nshebe a ba tsikinya hlo
oh okay ne le shebe ile a lenyatso ne le shebe ne se ro shebile because a galla
a se mmagala ke motho thamole when an sheba taba hore ha tsebo gore na an ona bule a botsa ntho supervisor where by supervisor ki female friend yak a mo tsare entle ke mo ho etsalang mo ka ntho la gatwa re mo botse and then other day come pizza office am putsa he ho etsala no ka mo bolella
What's how come 100?
ke mo 200
Okay.
and then ka mo bolella so apparently ngwana hae ke less
Okay.
and then yaba he umnat and then waba le mme aba le problem ka taba ya toilet ine ile yana fel ka mosebetsing
Me oh.
me o ana le problem o ha tla ha ke toilet o tla ho kom di khani bin di man sa toilet ke ka ke ya ho ntho ho mongaka a ba re ho nna so o mongwe a monyane ke ne ke bona a batla buella mme amplela ka ID number or ID number ya ka ke ID number ya di mail hona mo ID number ka e mo tse di family teng ke ka tla ka mlela ka re if ba tlonele ka nele ke papa no ka re nele ke no cause ha ke lo kena ka toilet ya bontate hona mhla ka mlela ka ha ke so ka kena toilet ya bontate ha ke tsebo jwang toilet ya bontate
Kanti na America har hukom ye khanwe ba demand toilet kunting ya hae aba ken kaofela.
ha ke tse
Yeah, okay. But I like the fact that in all the judgments, you stood your ground. Wabo. And I don't think you stood your ground because of the rights at the time. I mean, grade 8.
ke ngwana
But you know, it's about Baha Kuila got told to battle when I call center was screamer no. Yeah. Do you think men fear getting health care because kidilong or because the fear of being judged, like you were saying, or what kind of a man are you? Or maybe just men in general, we only want to go to healthcare when I know. Since it's no.
It's a sometimes a little about the long queues. But I want that even lower ya go di shopong, go fita bo diaparo it becomes something for bona. So it's either get treatment by tholang kapa na kongwe aba re ke botlhoko ba ileng gore bo batla gore a tlhobole, so they don't see themselves ba tlo go tlhobola a hatiwa kapa let's say o diphaile.
Yeah.
So it's something else. They'd rather go for dilo tsa bo Sesotho kapa tsa Setswana.
So it's an ego thing.
I think it ki ego gape ke a low self esteem. Kana ka re yalo motho mo tsa gore ke tlo go tlhobolwa ibile manesa no ke ma student ke tlo go tlhobolwa ke tlo go phetlhelwa ke bana.
That's very interesting you say that, because sometimes it's cultural, sometimes it's an ego thing, sometimes it's just a lack of knowledge. As a man, I'm supposed to be respected, you know, and you don't think, yourself first, getting access to healthcare, that's the ultimate respect you can give to yourself before you think about,
Sometimes motho mo tsa gore the very same motho go treatang ko facility o kopana le ne go location kapa ko nwang teng,
so
o ntse go bona ka tselele gore he modimo tsa maka sekola sa berete bona tshoreke.
so ke motho tseo.
So some of them they end up twisting the story. Motho ntse itse go o yetseng o tla ba re no nkare ke na le high blood because of ke go bona go wena.
Yeah.
But
And
in the meantime I'm dying.
How do we change that?
Nna ke nana community as at large ke bona batho se go re kelelo tsa rona. Your health comes first.
My health comes first, but as a man, I give it to attack. Understand? I can have as much knowledge as I can. There can be awareness, advocates, go fella, I want beyond zero. Why? But if Kisabatli, why Kisabili a private facility where I can walk in as if it is summer block?
Hence I'm saying gore batho ba bantsi gore people they fail to understand gore bophelo wa botlile pele batho ba ntate re na le ntwe le ya gore nka pane ka tso kapa motho o mongwe o file go ka tloga mo Bloemfontein a ya ko Durban kapa qwaqwa ka a kopana batho ba sa ba itse. So o tlo go ke di means tse di kae di transport bo di eng.
And it's easier with a stranger. Strangers ka so judge and you know very well, or stranger how half it I get like when I can samay lugo ka when like the setup yamo, you know, keep up center ya yamo Bloemfontein. I like it for one thing. How can I how to queer but cat is a blue? But cat is a yellow. Kila wana ntwetsa le silent zela zare. Bomzala. That's what it's in Kamul. Mo ukena utswa, nobody will know what you're here for. Akuna taba judgment. Whether it's TB about let's so it's how that happens in the private room. Maybe we should start having centers like that.
Because of other people when they go to the facilities, public facilities, only this routine, what's your body in? People they tend to know who are what saying.
Yeah.
Fish what one feel I can't go there. Get about what take short time idea go surgery a private doctor. So by the time you delay the time they met around now west wire.
Yeah. Okay, obviously violence that comes out of ignorance or that comes out of whatever it is, somebody choosing to violate somebody else's human rights. There's so many cases. We can't even deal with that. But then what is the first thing that one should do when they feel violated in any way? Somebody can violate you physically, can abuse you mentally, or even financially in certain relationships. What is the first thing that a person should do?
Because as Unmute Me, we are trying now to get transgenders to understand and know their rights through some dialogues that we also do, Lebona and the support groups.
Yeah.
So the first thing is to report. Once you feel, this made me uncomfortable. You might not even know that this is a human right issue, the violation, but through our reactors, we also have reactors that are HRV, that are trained. So by telling your story, they will actually align it to a specific violation. So that is the first start. And we also have in the facilities what we call suggestion boxes. They are in the colors to Unmute Me, what will be a pink, white, and blue. They can also use those boxes. It's anonymous. You can write whatever violation you felt, and then we'll take it from there.
So you can write your violation,
Yes.
put your number, but no name.
No name.
And you call back.
Yes.
Okay. Advisa o ke iring kana go anybody else o sna le tsoho tsona lwena. O sa tsimo ho ikemela. Yeah, somebody batho ba motella and ha tse ba itseng. Understand? To anybody else who feels violated, what's your advice to them?
No, I think advice ka jore ba bule case. Motho a o file go mo teng tshwapana tokelo tsa ka diatelo bula case reporter motho o tlekefetsang so that lwena o tsebe o gone o hila o tsebe at least motho even if ke kaya mo ke tlo fumana treatment e sharp because ntwane ene motho a yetse we ke beile ntho stop yona.
And if you want an example ho ba bang.
Ebile ke example ho ba bang. Wa ba le batlang ka moraka ha ba tlo feta mo nna ke fetileng teng. Ke tla ba sentse ke ba hiletse.
Pave the way. Tabo, last words, particularly to MSM. In fact, quick one. There's this whole mystery of MSM, men who sleep with other men, men who have sex with other men. We like the mystery. Like what let's say, gay, bisexual, or I'm gay for cash, or gay batla mafifing. Do you think that also perpetuates violation of human rights?
No ways. I read about Warechwani. If you don't owe anyone any explanation, if you like about Lisukwana Mosekeleng, I didn't choose. I'm living my life. So that those by law that are doing it for certain reasons, it's either money or any form of or exchange of anything. I don't see myself keep it after 9. I feel like I'm myself.
Well, after 2, clar.
So live your life. We live once.
You only live once. Yeah.
Because of the very same people by law they call people after 9s. They're saying it takes one to see one.
Of course.
So se bonang na witsi ka wena.
After 9, no kopani after 9.
So same applies to like front ile ka banyana ba bantsi. I dated so many beautiful chicks, but deep down ntse ke kitse go ke mang. So ke believe I'm not the only one. Re bantsi out there. We know each other.
Tell me about it.
And besides, but what are the misconception ya gore ha o le gay ka bo le bisexually? People we like sex.
Don't you?
like being penetrated. They fail to understand gore there's a sexual preference.
Yeah.
The very same, ene monna wa motho o feelang go ikutlwa le gay, a itla kwa di-gere da change. He becomes a passenger, the very same gay in a driver.
Why don't you wanna wait?
Again, we're being labeled and being fingered. And we end up creating groups
Excuse
as
the pun.
bisexual. We created groups, so how can we help each other? Up until a very New Fest campaign.
That's very interesting. So at least there are those private groups where the conversations can happen. And I mean, it's people like you that we thank for pushing the information. Look, how can we help other men who feel shy, you know, for whatever reason, maybe cultural or any other reason?
Because others are getting married for the sake of the parents, ke firstborn, kapa your siblings, ba nyetse. But once you did that for the sake of feel what that male element.
True. At the end of the day, it's information. But it's also being comfortable with self to know what you need to do.
And the moment when you start changing ladies,
Yeah.
was a real or bisexual, what change how you feel over the ego you. Protection is a leo. We judge people can face value again.
Yeah.
This chick is beautiful. What else is the gig I meet to guys? The very same beautiful lady HIV get told them.
Of course.
So I said about HIV we told her from men to men. People that are having a very wrong concept, understanding.
Knowledge is power. At the end of the day, if you've got the knowledge, it'll be able to save you. And when you're able to protect yourself, however you do it, whatever preference it is. Thank you so much. I like what you said about suggestion box. Because for some people, it's not being about shy. It's just, you want your private, shandis and your private stories to remain private. And let's just be that. Remember, we've got a toll-free number, which is completely anonymous, 08000 600 38 beyond zero, where you can call anytime and you can ask anything. You can share your story. They'll be able to give you advice and they'll be able to protect you. Continue to follow the conversations on socials, hashtag Beyond Silence. You'll be able to hear anything and everything. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, Beyond Zero SA. Beyond Zero. Another interesting topic. See you next time. Peace.
This podcast is brought to you by Beyond Zero for its adolescent and young people's program, Men Who Have Sex with Men program, and transgender program. We are Beyond Zero.